Hello lads and lasses and welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about our 1-1 result with Chelsea from this morning's Summer Series friendly game. I think we got quite lucky to get away with that result, but I'll get into that later. Before that though, if you find yourself here quite often, go down to that subscribe button below, give it a little click and maybe like the video if you do enjoy. Let me know what your thoughts on the match were down below. Let's get into it. So the starting 11 looks like a pretty normal Premier League starting 11. We had Dubravka starting goal. I've got the lineup here, but I'll put it on screen as well. We had Dubravka in goal. We had the normal back four. We had Miley in from the off. Got a full game against a top Premier League side. And we had what is a pretty normal attacking three. The bench is what I want to touch on a little bit. We had 2 goalkeepers named on the bench and 6 academy players. We only had 8 players named, probably due to wanting to rest the likes of Bruno and Bairnes and Elliot Anderson, Callum Wilson, wanting to rest them for the Brighton game, which we have on, well, I guess Saturday morning it would be, midnight, Saturday morning. Yeah, so I want to rest them players. We've got a pretty weakened bench, but I thought most of them actually played pretty well. The game in general, I think, was awful. Part of me wishes I didn't stay up until 1:15 in the morning to see kick-off, and then all the way until 3 until the game ended. I could have done without that because I'm feeling it at the moment. I don't know if you can tell, but I am feeling very sluggish, and my eyes are struggling to stay open. I could do with a nap, and it's midday. I slept until 10, so I've only been awake 2 hours. And I'm still feeling awful. So defensively, I think we actually played bad. I made it sound like I was gonna say we played all right, but no, we played defensively. We were awful. We were all over the place. Shaw picked up an injury, but before that, Nicholas Jackson was able to score a goal. I think he's living up to that price tag, probably exceeding it at the moment. Actually, I can't remember how much he went for. But yeah, it was a nicely slotted in ball from Chelsea to find Nicholas Jackson. He was able to just slot it away. Dubravka came out, but he left himself in no man's land. He wasn't able to do anything with it. So the ball was slotted away by Jackson. Botman was slow to react to the ball. Shaw was slow to react to the ball. The entire defence all game was slow to react to balls that were coming in. We were lucky to get away with what we got away with in that first half. And then in that second half, Nick Pope came on. Finally named on the bench, finally getting those minutes after that injury. And what a 45 minutes he had when he came on the second half. We'll get onto that when when we do talk about the second half. I want to talk about the first half a little bit more. I thought Anthony Gordon in that first half was unplayable. His ability to dribble, his close dribbling was actually pretty decent as well. He's not quite Isaac-esque, who is quite Henry-esque in a way. But Anthony Gordon really did play well. He was able to dribble with the ball, able to get out of the sticky situations, finding passes to Miley, who was playing on that left-hand side. And he was just able to do things in that first half and in that first half alone. Our goal came on the stroke of the 50th minute. It was 45 plus 5 minutes. That we played in that first half. It came on the stroke of half time. Anthony Gordon was part of that goal. It was fantastic dribbling for him. He was able to leave Reece James. He sort of like came back. I got worried, and then he curved round. He dropped a shoulder against one of the Chelsea midfielders, which dropped him to the ground, and he was able to power through to open space in that midfield. A nice pass through to Miggy. Cucurella, awful in that first half as well, I will say. Probably one of the only Chelsea players that did play. He was the worst Chelsea player by far in that game. It was a shame we took him off because Chilwell's actually a good left back, and he was able to pocket Almiron a bit more. But yeah, Cucurella sort of switched off for that goal. Reacted very, very late. It was how we were playing, but it was Cucurella. And then Miggy was able to dribble that ball sort of the edge of the box, slightly inside, able to curve it across the keeper's face. Beautiful goal. Great to see him get that goal in Atlanta, where we got him from. Yeah, and then obviously the crowd went mental when he scored. They went mental when he came off as well. It was good to see the crowd still loves Miguel Almiron as much as we do. So, apart from that, a lot of negatives from this game. Tonali, I feel like, was missing through a large part of the game. There was times when we were pressing that he was present and he was fantastic. But the transition into attack at the moment still a bit lacking. I'm not judging him just yet. I know he needs time to get used to English Premier League football. And I think giving him both the starts against Aston Villa and Chelsea will help with that. I'm not sure if he's going to be ready against Aston Villa for the first game of the season. I'm sure when we play Fiorentina, I'm sure if he gets to that game, he'll play really well because he played fantastic in the Serie A. I do believe he's going to get to that standard that he was in when he was in Serie A. I think there's no way he doesn't do that. He's a fantastic young player. I just think he needs that little bit of time to adapt to this side of game. It's very different to what you'll find in other countries. And he does need that little bit of time to adapt. I was watching the Magpie Channel TV just before. I only watched like 4 minutes before I started recording. But we gave Bruno that time to adapt. We gave Botman that time to attack. We didn't throw them in straight away. So it'll be interesting to see if we do the same with Tonali. We give him that time to adapt in training. It's just the friendlies we're throwing him in for. Or if we're just going to throw him in the deep end against Aston Villa come that first game of the season. To sort of wrap up this first half, I mean, it went on the entire game, but I'll talk about it now. The final third passing was dreadful. The Miggy goal came from a long medium ball from Gordon. It was not a final third pass. One of the other chances we got, which Miggy got, was a Lewis Miley long ball, switching it from the left-hand side over to Miggy on the right-hand side. Just inside the box. It was slightly behind Miggy, but it was still a really good ball. Miggy able to get the shot off. It was either saved or it went wide, but that was a good move. But those two good moves came from long balls. Our final third passing really does need to improve. We weren't able to make anything from it, but when we were, Isaac, for instance, passed the ball down through the left-hand side of the box. Almiron cut the ball back, but there was no one there. So it's not just like the final third passing in a sense of the passing was awful. It's also the final third passing and having players in the right place, in the box. Having a Callum Wilson in that box at all times sort of play is something we need to do. Having someone cover the striker in the box when the striker comes deep to play a winger forward. It's something we definitely need to improve on before the final game of the season because it was dreadful the entire game. The defence was slow the entire game. Shaw reacted very, very slowly until he had to come off due to an injury. Hopefully that is just a precautionary thing for taking him off. We brung Alex Murphy on, the youngster. I thought Alex Murphy actually had a pretty decent game. There was moments where he didn't play fantastic. There was one moment against Jackson where he kind of just hoofed the ball at Jackson in an attempt to clear it. If he pokes that out, I think we would have been fine. Jackson able to bring the ball in. Nothing comes of it. Lewis Miley ends up being able to make a tackle after a few step overs from Nicholas Jackson. But yeah, I think that's a good player. Send him out on loan for first team football, keeping him in the academy, I think would be the two options we have for him. I don't think he is ready for first team football just yet, but I do think it's another star that we could have on our hands. So yeah, that first half ended. Gordon played well. Second half, we had Nick Pope make his return from injury. I was worried that we wouldn't see him in this preseason tournament, the summer series, with that injury. I wouldn't want to rush him back because if we lose him, I mean, it was shown today, we might not have as good a keeper to sort of back him up. But Nick Pope played a blinder of a 45 minutes. There was chances against Nkunku, who took a great long shot. Fantastic save. Pardon me, do apologise. Fantastic save to sort of match that. There was a deflected shot, which Nick Pope started moving to his right, was able to do fantastic, get down to his bottom left corner. Right at the end of the game, he definitely saved us. Ben Chilwell, I think it was, who took the shot. Dubravka able to react so late to that ball. Body's in the way, doesn't see it until it's past that final line of defence. And it's another fantastic save. I think Dubravka's going to have another great season for us, as long as he can stay injury free, as long as that finger holds up. So yeah, that second half was actually pretty boring. Not a lot happened. We had instances from Isak in that second half. Isak and Gordon kept swapping, so we had Gordon on the wing and then we had Isak on the wing, vice versa for striker. One of the times he found himself on the wing, he was able to dribble like he can do. He's fantastic at dribbling. Ball stays close to his feet. Don't know how he does it, but he does it. And he was able to pull it back to Lewis Miley, who took a shot. It was a weak shot. Something he needs to work on. But again, he's only 17. And apart from his shooting, we've seen that he's a brilliant player. He's able to dribble with the ball. We've seen his passing range a bit more in this Chelsea game, and it is quite decent. He's still got loads to improve. He's only 17. He's going to be a fantastic player. We do have a genuine gem on our side. But yeah, apart from that, it was pretty boring. Not a lot happened. There's a lot we have to improve. Defensively, I think we do need to buy a right-sided centre-back to either back up Shaw or come in to replace him. I think in this game especially showed that he might not have the pace to keep up anymore. Disasi, who is someone we've been linked with, I've talked about before, I think is a player we might have to look after again, or just any other right-sided centre-back. I've not seen we're linked with anyone else. But yeah, that is a position we do need to look at. Left-back we probably need to look at. I don't think Parkinson's quite ready. Not Parkinson. Parkinson was the winger. I don't think Alex Murphy's quite ready for first-team football yet. That is another position we do need to improve on. But yeah, that was the game pretty much. We were lucky to get away with a 1-1 draw. So lucky for us, Nick Pope came on. But yeah, next we go against Brighton. We'll have a lot of the other first teamers back to play in that game. I'm sure the academy lot will come back onto the bench to get minutes here and there. But man of the match had to be Lewis Miley. He played another blinder of a game. He was fantastic again. We're just going to have to see what he can do when it comes to Premier League. It's going to be interesting to see what Eddie Howe does in terms of his development, whether he stays. I hope he does, because he does play. He's been exciting to watch in the pre-season. He's going to be exciting to see play when we get to our regular season and the 4 competitions we're in. I mention it all the time. We're in 4 competitions. We need the players to be able to play in them. Yeah. But apart from that, that's that, pretty much. Final third, passing needs improved. The attack needs to not disappear in the second half, because that happened. We need to be able to react a bit quicker to the ball. Nick Pope is a saviour. Man of the match, Lewis Miley. If you did enjoy, and if you find yourself here at this point in the video, go down, hit subscribe for us. Do leave a like if you did enjoy. Let me know what you thought of the game in the comments, like I said before. And if you preferred this style of match review compared to the Aston Villa one, I've done this one a bit more not play for play. The Aston Villa one was a bit more play for play. Let us know. I would like to know what sort of content you like to see, how you like to see it. I will see you for probably another transfer update, because that's all there is to talk about, or whatever news we have that comes up is something I will talk about. But thank you for making it this far in the video, and I'll see you for the next one. If not tomorrow, then the match review on Saturday against Aston Villa. Not Aston Villa, against Brighton. That's how tired I am. I'll see you in a bit, pal.